This conference is about the real truth about health. We know you address that in a very big way in your new book, Into the Nothing, where you talk about a holistic liberation way of life, which is not just about eating food. Can you tell us more about that?
With great joy. And it's really good to be part of the Real Truth About Health conference. I really like Steve. I like the whole aspect. So, what I point out in my book, which is actually, here it is, okay, Into the Nothing is really about my life journey. Now, I didn't start out as a vegan or a vegetarian. I grew up in the 40s in Chicago near this, stockyards. And I didn't even have a concept or an idea about the word vegetarian until I was 28 years old. And it wasn't part of my culture. It wasn't actually part of the culture in general in the 40s. Okay, let's look at it that way. So there, the point I want to make is there was a slow transition. A lot of people think, well, I should just do it tomorrow. Well, that's good, but most people don't do it tomorrow, and they make the shift best slowly and steadily. Okay, so part of my Into Nothing is about this life journey. I actually didn't get so interested in even veganism or vegetarianism until I was 33 years old. What happened is my wife and I, my wife who was pregnant with our second child, both had this nightmare that the fetus was a chicken. And we, one day conversion into being vegetarians. And that's an interesting way to do it. Okay. So we had thought about organic and thought about different things. And I just want to make a point. Organic doesn't mean actually no pesticides and herbicides. It means less pesticides and herbicides because the whole atmosphere is polluted. So just, we shouldn't, nothing is exactly pure on planet Earth anymore. So we have to kind of relax about that and understand that's the case. That being said, I didn't really get focused on my work, initial work, which is how to eat and live in a way to become a superconductor of the divine, which is a spiritual question, until I had a profound meditation experience with Swami Muktananda. And when I went into the nothing, when I came down, this little voice said, you should learn to eat and live in a way that best supports the movement of the spiritual energy. So I'm sharing my perspective here. Okay, I'm not coming as like I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat a certain way, and that's fine. I'm coming from a very different perspective, and I began to explore. Partly when I was living in India for 7 years, to 1975 to 1982. What is the best diet to support spiritual life? And that was like the foundation question. And it's from that I wrote my first book, Spiritual Nutrition and the Rainbow Diet. So perspective is what I want to give people. It's like my reasons aren't just about health. Now, um, when I was captain of an undefeated Amherst College football team, we were ranked number one, and I was inducted to the National Football Hall of Fame. So obviously, I was an athlete. Am an athlete, and at that time, I could do, being a meat eater, but I could do 70 push-ups and 500 sit-ups and 7 pull-ups. So at the age of 77, which is what I'm talking about now, today I did my usually 1,200 push-ups at one time, and easy for me to do 500 sit-ups and 80 pull-ups. How did that happen? Okay. So one of the messages I want to give to everybody is designing a way of life that optimizes one physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So I'm talking about spiritual nutrition, but I just shared with you is just going vegan if you know what you're doing, which we will get into in just a minute. You get stronger, you get more flexible. When I was playing football, I couldn't even touch my toes. Now I can put my hands, palms on the ground. Yeah. Okay, now I can sit in full lotus. Before I couldn't even cross my legs. What happened here? Well, it's more than a few things, but being a 99% live food was and is a profound basic. Okay, so I saw that a 100% vegan, 99% live food, uncooked, however we want to talk about it, was the optimum diet for supporting not just physical, spiritual life, but I just shared, hey, physical life. Um, and so instead of the stereotype, oh, you go vegan, you're going to get weak. And no, this is just the opposite, stronger and more flexible. So that's a really important thing for people to get. There is a caveat with that. What's the caveat? You got to have some intelligence about what you're eating. So as I point out in my books, my 13 different books, some people need more protein and some people need more carbohydrate. We are not cows. We are individual. And it's on chromosome 19, it says how much protein, how much carbohydrate, how much fat we should have. So I'm a person that doesn't need a lot of protein. And that also varies with age. After 65, you need slightly more protein. And I'll get to that story because it's important for people to understand. So there's not just one formula for everybody. Okay, go eat grass. That's it. No, it's not that way. So in thinking about diet, which is what's key for this first part of our interview, is what's my constitution and what's the optimum diet to fit my way of life. Okay, so I'm a person what we call a doesn't need much protein. So the protein range for optimal longevity is 30 to 70 grams a day. I'm closer to it's 35 to 70 grams a day. I'm closer to 35 to 40 grams a day. That's going to give me optimum. Now, I was actually around the age of 65, kind of stuck with my pull-ups at 25. What's going on? And then I read that at the age of 65, people need more protein, especially men. I had 1 tablespoon of blue-green algae a day, and I went from 25 pull-ups in a month to already 50 pull-ups. I mean, I did hit eventually 100. It started hurting my elbows a little bit, but the point I'm making is I figured out I need to adjust my protein intake because I'm now chronologically more than 65 and people that age need more. So you need more when you're a teenager and you need more a little bit in your 60s. Okay. So, but in your 40s, mostly men eat too much protein, doubles your rate of mortality, quadruples your rate of cancer. So we have to keep shifting to get the right ratio. It's an alchemical process. We have to be intelligent about what we're doing for ourselves because we are unique individuals. That's really key to understand. We're unique individuals. And it's up to us to figure out what's optimum. So that's an important part of my message. Optimum nutrition for physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life. So I've already said, well, this makes me pretty healthy, makes me pretty flexible, makes me pretty strong. That's not bad. That's exactly what we want to see happen on the physical plane. Now, emotionally and mentally, we want a diet that's also going to help, our mental sharpness. Because we see, if we're like me, I'm reading the literature because I'm very concerned about helping people really starting in their late 40s, early 50s with slow cognitive decline. So we want to eat a diet that's going to support that, which again is this 100% vegan, 99% live food diet. So that's my baseline. What I do, how we do it is what makes it work or not. Okay, that's the key. So I find about 70%, and that's what the research is, of the people I see need a higher amount of protein, need more closer to 70 grams. Where for me, as I say, 35 grams, 35, 40 grams. That's going to optimize me.